Hello and welcome everyone to another beautiful conversation where I'm talking with guests from around the world and we share that same vital message about loving who you are, making self-care important, about shifting that mindset, and you know what, basically looking in the mirror and giving yourself compliments, being kind to yourself and valuing who you are. So welcome to Mindful Conversations, another one of my episodes with Teresa. Teresa started and, her career as a pharmacist, over 25 years experience as a pharmacist. And, at the same time, she started going through life changes, as we all do as women. Until one day her son asked, Mom, are you like bipolar? Because your emotions and how you're being is just like all over the mood swings. And that got Teresa thinking and looking deeper into what could be causing this and menopause. What got her to creating this beautiful network of women that are premenopausal and, really coming forth with that message about healthy minds and a healthy way of looking at things helps you become your own health advocate and helps you to realize that it's not only me, it's, the way our body is, the way our mind is, creates things that we never experienced before. So hello and welcome, Teresa. I'm so happy, Teresa, that you're here on my Mindful Conversation podcast. So thank you for being here, first of all, Teresa.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and talking about one of my favorite things, health and well-being.
Yeah, excellent. Now, as always, the audience wants to know a little bit about who you are. I mean, I've kind of done a condensed, version of explaining to our audience who you are and what you do. So, Teresa, can you tell us a little bit more from a personal point of view, who you are and what you do?
So I am post-menopause. I've always been interested in health and physiology and how the body works because to me it's the most perfect machine that exists. So I didn't want to be a doctor because I could not handle blood and things like that very well. So I figured the next best option would be to be a pharmacist. That would allow me to learn physiology, biology, how the body works and all that. So that's what I did. And then I worked as a pharmacist for a long, long time. And about 10 years ago, as you said, my son asked if I was bipolar. And I was taken aback. And I figured, okay, there's something going on. I've always been very hyper and full of energy, but they're telling me that my mood swings are hard to handle. So they're up and down and it's unpredictable. They have no idea how to talk to me because they don't know which state I'm going to be at. So I looked into it, and it took me a while because in those days, internet was worse than now. There was a lot of misinformation, and there was a lot of marketing disguised as education. But I landed on the North American Menopause Society, which has great information for healthcare providers and for the public. And I realized I was in perimenopause, and that was one of the experiences. And then I also realized that if I didn't know what was going on and I was educated in health and physiology, then a lot of other women wouldn't either. So I found out I could become a menopause practitioner certified by NAMS, and I could help other women. So I tried to do that in pharmacy while I was working, but it wasn't very easy because there was not a lot of time to take someone to a private room and have a conversation. It was not very easy for women to disclose personal things in a lineup. So I had no choice but to create my own virtual, even before COVID, health practice or health care for women going through the transition. And so that's how MenopausED came to be. And my favorite thing to do is education, because there's such secrecy about menopause. We don't talk about it. It's a big secret. There's no intergenerational sharing. Mothers don't tell daughters. We learn from our girlfriends. My generation was bad in that case. I hope the next generation, the Gen Xers, are not going to take this for granted, and they're going to bring things out into light and find out what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's how it all came to be.
Yeah. You know, it's so true, right? Sometimes women can feel ashamed because of what's going on, or they're wondering what's going on. You know, myself being premenopause, like, yeah, I can tell and I can feel it, and like emotionally and physically. And often women will look at that and get so frustrated because they don't understand why their body's changing. They don't understand why they're on these awful mood swings. They don't understand why they're putting weight, but yet, you know, still exercising, or you still have a balanced eating. And the fact that, you know, you've opened up that opportunity that, yeah, it's menopause and it's premenopause, and helping women to understand and still love themselves no matter what, right? Because, you know, Teresa, do you find as well that, you know, um, what women have come to me about is that they just don't like themselves anymore, and they can't stand what's going on, their body changing, and they're just complaining and frustrated and do not like themselves anymore. And you find too, like, when women come to you, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's very true. And that's why I think that awareness and education go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this stigma that starting menopause is being old. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a myth, because perimenopause changes can start in late 30s, early 40s. That's not old at all. But there's this negative image that relates menopause with being old and spent and done with. And we have to switch this around. We have to change the way we think about menopause and everything that has to do with aging. We can't stop aging, but we can choose how we age. I always tell my women, start now. If you haven't yet, midlife, 40 is a good time to start working on the woman you want to be at 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Because if you wait till then, it's too late. You gotta start a healthy lifestyle. And as you said, start being kind to yourself. Accept the fact that this is nothing you can control. We are, as women and men as well, but we have more hormones. We are controlled by our hormones. There's nothing we can do to stop the way they change. So this is just another cycle of life. We had puberty, which some say it's menopause in reverse. Some of us got pregnant. That's another cycle at the mercy of hormones. This is just part of who you are, of being alive, of getting older, which is a blessing, because some of us don't have an option, right? Some of us die too young.
Yeah, it's
so accept the fact that this is part of life.
Yeah.
And don't fight it. Like you said, don't fight it. Accept, embrace it, and flow with it. Today you feel fatigued, put less stuff to do on your to-do list. Tomorrow you'll have more energy. Try to exercise a little more. Eat better. The basics of good life, as you know, are the same for every stage of life, for every age. You got to eat nutritious food. You got to move as much as you can. Try to stay positive, sleep, drink lots of water, go low on caffeine and alcohol. That's it.
Yeah. You know, and there's key things that you said too that really jumped out. You know, the part that, number one, I always say, it's kind of a balance between sleep and moving your body, right? Sleep, we're denying ourselves sleep. You need 6 to 8 hours sleep, and that is a simple solution. You know, unplug that hour before you go to bed, because that affects our level of sleep as well. You know, move your body anyway, whether it's 1 minute of going up and down the stairs here, and, you know, 5 minutes of let's say, you know, quick jumping up and down, or going for a walk around the block. Breaking it down throughout the day, simplified, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have in our mind that it has to be this way. It doesn't. I always say whatever works for you. So, you know, we talked about sleep, we talked about moving your body. You know, as far as healthy, that's what is healthy. I like to call it balanced eating, right? If you want to enjoy a piece of dark chocolate, go ahead. In fact, dark chocolate is very beneficial for women.
Uh-huh.
very beneficial. You know, if you have a cookie, that's okay. Don't feel guilty. There's a difference between having a cookie and eating the bag or box of cookies, right? Make homemade cookies, you know, like then throw in, mix, say, an apple as a snack, right? It's simplify it, balance. And as you said, be kind to yourself. We as women are beautiful at giving compliments to everybody else. But how often do you give a compliment to yourself? You know, and ask for help. Look for that support, whether it's a best friend, whether it's a network or a supportive group. There's no right or wrong answer except when you deny yourself what it needs. So thank
That's
you
right.
again for sharing those important messages about, you know, we talk about sleep, moving your body, balanced eating, support and acceptance and kindness. The world needs more. And stay positive.
Stay positive.
Stay
Yes,
positive as
yes,
much as
yes,
you can, right? As
yes.
simple as, you know, I talk to people, you know, women will ask me, well, how do you stay positive? How do you have gratitude? It's like, it's little things, it's waking up and saying, wow. And I write it in my gratitude journal. I'm grateful for my health because it keeps me alive. So the fact that you opened your eyes, you get to live another day, the sun is shining, you're able to feel the wind and the weather on your face, you know, simple things like that, that you can hear the birds. That is gratitude. That is being positive, you know. And as you know, you've talked about, you know, creating this network. So what allows you, Teresa, to live with the passion of creating a space for women? Like, what allows you to keep on spreading that positive message about loving who
Mhm.
you are and about life being a journey?
I've been interested in health since grade 9, so it's my top value, and I want I cannot make women be like me, and that wouldn't be a good thing. But health to me is the foundation of a good life. If we don't have good health, everything else gets affected. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, how big a house you live in. If you don't have your health, everything gets more complicated.
Yeah.
So I try to spread the message, and I try to stay focused on the fundamentals, because as you said, everything is so simple, but we complicate everything so much.
Yeah.
So I try to stay focused on what's valuable to me may be valuable to other women. So I keep sending the message. I keep telling them, you don't have to spend lots of money, spend lots of time, think too much. Like you said, little movements throughout the day are a good thing. So what keeps me going is the fact that there's a need out there for women to wake up and take care of themselves before they take care of everybody else and everything else. The dusting, the kids, the parents, everything needs to get done. We know that. But where is the block on the calendar for you?
Yeah.
And
So
in midlife, I think if it's a perfect time for us to figure out who do we want to be for the rest of our life.
mhm,
Because raising kids and all that takes a whole lot of time. I think I didn't live for 12 years as a person. I lived as a mother, right? But now that I have more time, whenever you have more time, just think once in a while, who am I? What do I like? What makes me alive? And focus on that and nurture yourself. Keep watering that plant and putting some good stuff in it. Like you say, a gratitude journal is a great way to start.
mhm,
So what allows me to go is the need that women are out there, and so many of them are in fear of perimenopause, the changes. They don't know what's going on, so they fear they have all these diseases.
mhm.
And it's the fact that life is so much easier than we think. If you know what you're going on, if you know what to expect, you just go with it. You don't worry.
Yeah. And I'm going to add something in there today as well, Teresa, because there's certain words that jump out at me. So kind of like generational, because there is an age difference between us, right? But it's something you said that kind of boom jumped out at me, and it said, you know, you used the words about, I really didn't know who I was because I was so focused on being a mother. So I'm going to shift that, okay? Because I look at it in a different light. My kids are in their teenagers, and because I've had a passion from like since my early 20s that I need to value who I am and make time for myself every day. So that's something, yes, I'm a mother, but my kids know that every day I make time for myself. And I find that as a mother, or someone who's a grandmother, let's say, I think that's a really important message that we need to show our kids, not only talk about it, but actually show them by doing. It's like, okay, this is mommy time now. Like, I'm going to take this half an hour to do something that makes me feel happy, makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of women out there, a lot of moms out there that feel guilty or it's a sacrifice that and perhaps in your generation, because I know my mom, her generation was totally different, and she's often said to me like, oh, I wish I did or thought like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because she's in her late 70s, and it's like, regardless, it's not a sacrifice, it's not a challenge, it's not feeling guilty. You have a choice to model to your children as a mother, like, mom needs to value herself too and have self-worth, and I need to make time for myself to be, and that's my belief, to become a better mother, or to become a mom that can show kids. Because if I'm telling my kids to value themselves, if I'm not doing it to myself and valuing myself, then what am I telling them? So yeah, I just had to throw that in there because I know there's the audiences listening, and to catch that important message and to hear that, yes, I heard it from you, and there's women today that are still saying that, right, regardless of what their age is. So here we are in January. I mean, Christmas was a challenge for a lot of people. I mean, it was for me too, because we were not together with all our family members for Christmas. COVID's been with us, soon coming up a year. So, we've gone through it in different ways. People have had challenges. It's maybe been, positive for some people and just terribly and awful for other people. So what have you been doing, Teresa, that you can share with our audience, with our listeners today? What have you been doing during COVID and advice you can share to other people out there that keeps you positive, that keeps you grateful, that keeps you basically getting through a day during COVID?
I'm grateful for my business because I have a reason to get up every morning. I have something to focus on, and I've had weeks like everybody else that I was not able to work because my mind was elsewhere and I was upset. And so I have two things that I need to go on through COVID, which is something to focus on, something that I know I'm doing that has a good purpose. So my purpose is to help women. So I'm doing that every day. That gives me my purpose. And then I need to move, just like you said, and I need to be in nature. So every day, I'm lucky I live by the park. So every day I have to get up, get out of the house and go outside. And even if it's cold, snow, windy, whatever, going outside is healthy, it's therapeutic, and gets you out of your little world indoors, because I think more than ever we are stuck in this space. We're not commuting to work, we're not seeing other people, so we're kind of getting squashed by the walls. Get out there, and once you're out there, don't go out there with the same thoughts you had when you were inside. Go out there and empty your thoughts and be mindful. Mindful walking is beautiful. Try it out. You just walk and you feel the ground under your feet. You feel the wind on your face, whatever is making sounds. There's still birds around chirping and whatnot. The squirrels are running. Hear, feel, smell, sense everything that's around you. And that to me is what's keeping me going. Eating well, moving, and having a focus.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because when myself and our dog goes for a run, I'm just focusing on my breathing, focusing on what's going on, and it often lets me kind of get new insight, right? If I'm stuck with something, or it allows me to come up with new ideas, you know, versus when my husband and I go for a walk, we're not always talking. There's often,
That's
we're
right.
just walking and being in the moment. And, you know, it's like my husband said yesterday, boy, it's really beautiful out here. It's like, yeah, you know, it's in the evening, it's quiet, it's silence, the snow is glistening, you know, believe it or not, because the moonlight. And yeah, just going out in nature, moving your body and being in the moment, and actually paying attention to the beauty around you, and the you know, the sights around you. And it's so amazing how your mind gets cleared. And you know, so from our conversation so far, Teresa, what I'm hearing from you is, before I get to our last three questions, is, you know, take care of your mindset, love who you are, move your body, be in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
be kind to yourself, allow yourself to go through the emotions, do not feel embarrassed or ashamed, and be you. Be you. Yeah, I think those are key, really key messages that I've been hearing from our conversation. So the last three questions I ask every guest, and I love this because we've heard, you know, about you and your expertise, Teresa. Now we're going to learn more about who Teresa is. Finding a little bit more personal things about who you are. So there, you know, we all have quotes that we love and that we live by. So what is a quote, Teresa, that you find yourself, you live by and you absolutely love?
I don't even know how I came about this quote. I don't even know who to quote about this quote. I just know that I've been living like this for years and years and years, and it's been keeping me going. Um, Tomorrow is another day, and tomorrow will always be better.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, beautiful, right? Just take each day as it is, and live it, and be thankful at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Very
just
nice.
if you're not having a good day, it's gonna end.
Yeah.
Just like COVID is gonna end, just like everything bad and everything good comes to an end eventually. So when you're on the top, when you are good, enjoy it. And when you're at
Nice.
the bottom, look up and see where you're going and aim at it. So tomorrow is a better day. Tomorrow is another day, and tomorrow will always be better. Keeps me going through the rough days.
And I think what you just said kind of answered my second question I was going to ask you, is the number one
Oof.
advice you could share with listeners. I think you just said it, is always look ahead, right? Yeah, be in the moment. If you're not feeling the greatest, that's okay. We all have days where it's like, okay, I'm really low today, and that's okay. It'll pass. Tomorrow's a new day. And, you know, I always say there's always something wonderful in every day, no matter how, excuse my word, shitty your day may have been. There's always something there, you know, microscopic, mini. There's always something there at the end of the day that was good. So
And
look at
I
that.
agree. When you're having a bad day, especially a bad day, it's very important to write something down, what you're grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in the worst days, in the worst situations, there will be at least one thing that you can still find that you're grateful for. And that one thing may give you the energy and the mindset and the positive feeling to get on through this next day until you can go to bed early instead of watching screens and going through your feed, so you optimize your sleep. That's another my main recommendations is put stuff good in your body, put good stuff in your mind, and prioritize your sleep, because if you rested, everything else looks much better.
Yeah, exactly. And the last question, you cannot include family as your answer, because we, you know, those of us with family, we're always grateful for family. Maybe someone's like disagreeing with me, but regardless, if this was the last day of your life, Teresa, what is one thing, one simple thing that you'd be grateful for?
It's always the same thing. And it doesn't matter if I'm up or down, it's always the one thing that grounds me and makes me feel better, and it's nature.
Mm,
I am very, very, very grateful for nature, because it's where I am the best, the most wholesome, what I feel like the most energy, everything just, I don't know. I love, we need to appreciate our Mother Earth and nature, because we are all living in this ecosystem, and we have to appreciate it. We have to protect it. We have to be kind to it as well.
Lovely. Thank you, Teresa, for your amazing expertise, your amazing words, sharing that same message, you know, that we need to value who we are. At the end of the day, we need to value who you are, honor yourself, be kind to yourself, give yourself permission to enjoy life and to go through this life journey that we are on, with all the ups and downs, with all the turns. So thank you very much again for sharing your message and being a guest on my podcast. And for all of you out there listening and watching my podcast, thank you very much again for tuning in to another mindful conversation with amazing guests. And as always, when you go to bed tonight, think about the best thing that happened, because no matter what, there's always one best thing that happened. And when you wake up in the morning, think about or write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. This is Tanya Otterstein-Liehs saying thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Until next time, have a beautiful day, honor who you are, and be kind to yourself. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.